Hey everyone, thank you for joining me. So in this video of the New Earth Mastery introductory course, I'm going to talk about the wounded child. So a lot of mastery paths out there work with the wounded child, or work through the wounded child, and there are some that don't because they treat it as something that just doesn't exist, so why collude with it in the first place? And the New Earth Mastery course, this work does work with the wounded child, and I'll tell you a little bit about how it is worked through in New Earth Mastery. So we have within our consciousness all potentials. You know, there are not some people that are just evil, or some that are just pure, or somebody that is just very masculine or is just very feminine. It's that we have all potential within our consciousness because we are source. You are source. And just like source is everything, so are you. It is literally just about what potentials you draw out of yourself, what things you push down, what things you emphasize, what things you are conditioned to bring out of yourself, depending on your life experiences, depending on each incarnation, and to a certain extent it is also dependent upon your spiritual essence. Through the aura transformation work that I do when I'm working with different people at the core spirit level, I do see that people have, at the very pure level, they have very unique beings there. You know, that even though at the purest level, we are just source, because source is everything. Each of us came away from source with a version of source, if you like, as a drop of source that has some individuality, that has some unique expression, even though there is full potential still within that expression, because we are each source. So in terms of having this earthly experience here on earth as a person, any kind of potential can come through. So you have both within you the child and the parents. You have the masculine and the feminine, the father and the mother. You have light and you have shadow. Everything is there. The reason why the wounded child or the inner child becomes such a strong kind of part of our experience and is emphasized so much with psychotherapy and psychology and depth work and also healing work, is because that part of the potential, that part of the everythingness that we can be, was so fresh to us, because us having a childhood experience just a couple of decades or 4 decades or 5 or 6 decades ago is so fresh in our memories. And so that that part of us, of the everything, is still very present actually within us. And our childhoods made such a big impact upon us, because as a being of such pure consciousness and not having the incarnated maturity yet to be able to process and integrate the things that are happening in our lives, we are literally just receiving everything that comes at us straight into our core. And of course, we live in a very imbalanced society. We have been living in a very imbalanced society. So most of us, if not all of us, at least in the modern world, at least in these countries, will have had very painful experiences. There would have been a lack of love. There would have been a lack of evolved being. So naturally, that inner child has become the wounded child. But imagine a completely enlightened and balanced society. That inner child wouldn't have become a wounded child. That inner child would have remained pure as a magical child that could remember only play and possibility and abundance and security and love and innocence. And all of us would have this magical child within us only. So that would be a very different experience. And then, of course, on a greater spiritual level, we have a divine mother and father, if you like. The great creator and creatress principles of the universe are our parents to our spirit. So you also have a divine child. And you can also look at it as, Mother Earth as being your divine mother, and the creator universe above as being the divine father. And therefore your spirit incarnate into this body completely pure, without any other without any other aspects of reality, any imbalances present, just that completely pure state of being. You become the divine child with all of the wisdom of the divine masculine and all of the wisdom of the divine feminine holding you, creating you. So, in terms of healing the wounded child, we're talking about healing the shadow. The only way that wounded child in you can be returned into the magical child, into the light child, is through you giving him or her everything that he or she needed when you were a child. So of course it is about you being 100% loving and protective and honoring and respectful and accepting and nourishing and cherishing that part of you. And that part of you will test you, will absolutely test you, because if somebody let you down, if somebody didn't protect you, if they didn't have your back, if they didn't show love, then the moment they do, you're not just going to accept it. You're not just going to be like, okay, I trust you now. No. You are going to test the hell out of them, because you need it to be absolutely proven, 100% proven, that they have your back now, that they will not let you down now. So your wounded child needs to know 100% that you have got him and her. That your love will be consistent, that your honor, that your protection will be consistent. And the only way that you can do that is that you become that fully whole and balanced adult that is able to do that. Because that is why your parents weren't able to, because they weren't fully whole and balanced within themselves. So they couldn't fully love and protect and honor you. So you have to become fully whole and balanced in yourself. Because then you become that king or queen, you become the divine mother, father energy. And you can take responsibility you can make all of those difficult decisions to protect your inner child. You can say no to things that are tempting. You can say yes to the right things in order to be fully honoring and loving of yourself, of your inner being. So the New Earth Mastery course guides someone through that process. It's part of the journey of your self becoming more and more integrated, more and more whole, more and more embodied, which works in tandem with you then healing the wounded child. Thank you for listening. Lots of love.